Well, hi folks, and welcome to another one of our student interviews. I'm super excited to introduce this next amazing member of our community. She runs a phenomenal facility in Singapore, but I won't steal any of your thunder, Ali. Tell us a little bit about you and your location, your business model, and just the clients that you love to serve, and then we'll dive into some more of the pieces with you as well.
Okay, thanks. So my name is Ali Khairuddin and I'm based in Singapore, and the name of my business is Fit Nut Loft. And so it's a little hybrid between Pilates and basically weight training. So most of my clients are women between the ages of 35 and 55 who are, really looking to work out. They know they've got to do something, but they're not comfortable in a gym setting. And I'm trying to get them to think about, diet, nutrition, as well as it's okay to lift weights. It's not going to make you bulky. So it's a small community, mostly people who live in the, about 5 kilometer radius from around my studio.
Gotcha. So it's super locals, and you just love empowering people to get the results. Unfortunately, I've had the pleasure of coaching you over the last number of months now, and it's been amazing seeing your growth and seeing the impact that you've had on your community as well. Some people that you've really had some life-changing results with. Before we sort of get to there, let's go back a step. So where were you before with the business, and where were you before you invested in working with NPE?
Okay, so it started off like a little hobby, right? I thought I just want to pay my rent, have a little bit of spending money, and I'll see how it goes. And then it kind of got to the point where it was doing better than I expected. And but then I thought, and I'd heard about NPE via because I'm a precision nutrition graduate, so that's how I found out about NPE. And I looked into it, and I remember that first chat with Andre, and he was asking me these questions there. So I thought to myself, oh, things are not going so well. They're not going as well as I thought they were. I was just bumbling about, hoping that people would buy a package, not really knowing how to sell, and just hoping people would walk in. I would marketing, sales, everything, nowhere. So when I say I was doing better than I expected, I was. But when I look back now, it was not going as well as, not going too well at that stage.
Gotcha. So, and I love these stories as well, because it's amazing when you get that awareness over, what you don't know, which is clearly what you didn't know until you had that conversation with Andre. So from a numbers perspective, how many clients did you have when you first contacted NPE?
Back then I probably had, and it's hard, who were regular, who were not regular, right? But I probably had about 20 odd clients that were coming to see me. But a lot of them didn't renew, because I was giving them such amazing trial deals, and they take about 6 months to do their 5 lessons, which were cheap as chips. And then they go, oh, didn't work. No, of course it didn't work. It takes 6 months to do your 5 lessons. So while I had a lot of names in my roster, they were not renewing with me.
Right. Gotcha. So you had people, but the consistency of attendance wasn't there. And I imagine the consistency of revenue wasn't there either, right?
Nothing. Because I was taking all the money in up front, right? So I'd have it in my bank account and I'd go like, woohoo, this is looking good. But then I'd get no more money coming in. And I'd be going, I just need to close 2 or 3 big, and so I can pay my rent. I mean, really, so I was borrowing money from us to pay the rent in the first few months. And I was kind of going, this isn't very sustainable.
Right. So from a financial standpoint, I know you just mentioned there that you were living with a bit of stress and worry and trying to get clients on board. Financially, what was the business turning over in terms of total revenue per month?
Okay. On average, total revenue per month was about less than $4,000, between about $3,500.
Gotcha.
That was the good numbers. Right. It wasn't always like that.
So you're stressed about not being able to renew your clients, and obviously frantically trying to find new ones, even though sales and marketing was a challenge for you. You're having to put in money from your personal accounts, your family's accounts to sort of keep it going. But you were passionate about it, and you were prepared to invest in in yourself and in the development of the business. So tell me a little bit about where you're at now in comparison to that stressed, worried, doing it as a sort of a hobby, but wanting it to be better and you know, not financially making it work, to where you are today.
Okay, so first of all, the biggest hurdle I had was moving from what I'd always known, the 10-20 class pack deal. And I was very uncomfortable moving people to a subscription-based deal. And I remember I was really thinking, I remember having a conversation and going, I don't think this is for me. I think we're just different. It's not going to work. It's not me, it's you, you know. And I felt this is not good. But finally, I can't remember when it clicked, but I think it's a conversation we had when you said, you know, you're not just taking their money, you're changing their lives. And how are you going to change their lives? They have to come. And how are they going to come? Well, by committing to paying X amount for your whatever sessions per month, then they'll come. And that kind of made sense to me. I was still very scared about it. So then back in July last year is when I sent my letter out to all my old clients. You know, I remember just thinking, oh my God, everyone's going to hate me. But they were fine. They got it. They understood it. And, you know, I gave them the opportunity to buy as many credits as they liked up front, and which gave me a nice buffer in my bank account, which is nice. But then going forward, all the new clients, I sit down with the pre-qualification, the consultation, and find out more about them. And then I was surprised because people were signing up, and I was going, what? You know, okay. So no one's going, what? You want me to commit? They were kind of into it, which is nice. So now, you know, all my new clients coming in are all based on this new model that I have. I do a 3, 6, 12 month model. Most of them start with a 3 because they don't know about it, which I get. And then once they've done the 3 months, then they go on to a 6. I just signed up a lady the other day who needed to sign up straight up off the bat for 12 months because she had big goals and we talked about it. But what I love is the fact that I'm celebrating all their wins. You know, they're motivated, like, and because they're coming regularly, and that's the key thing, isn't it? Rather than just haphazardly coming every now and then. And I've created a little community, and everyone has fun, and that's what it's all about, you know. And I work on referrals, so I think the more people that love being here and the vibe that we have, the more they talk about it, and then their friends want to come, which is how it all works.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So one of the couple of things you mentioned there, one, you've gone to really providing the client with what they want, which is a commitment, right? They make a commitment to you and a commitment to themselves, which is how they're going to get results, obviously. And you give them the length of time which is appropriate to that result. As you just said, that the lady just spoke about, well, she needs 12 months to achieve a goal. So it's all about the clients now, isn't it? It's not about 10 or 20 sessions. It's about what time frame do they need to achieve their goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's exciting. And the other thing you mentioned too is a community. So have you seen a shift in the culture of your business? If you think back to those 20 odd clients coming haphazardly, some weeks there, some weeks not, to now, and the relationships and that community support and peer support and encouragement, has it shifted the culture of the business and the atmosphere in the classes?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, I think, you know, once I've got the business model, then it's very easy to build a community on social media, on stuff that's going on here. And, you know, every month we have our different glute challenge, and, you know, so the set of exercises they have to do, and everyone hates them, but they love it really. But they're all laughing about it, and then they're all going for coffees later, you know, and they didn't know each other before that. They're all heading off having a coffee. And when I had our Christmas party, that was nice because they came over to my house, and it was just really lovely. We did a present exchange, and everybody was kind of just mostly women, right? So a few guys that have come as well. They're great. They're just they work out with the women, and they're cool with it. But it's people come because, and I'm sure they come because of what we are and how we carry ourselves and how we deal with how we treat our clients. And I know the people who are only coming for the cheap deal are not the kind of clients that we're going to attract, and that's okay. We're looking for people who, you know, who put in as much as put in their effort, and then they get so much out of it as well. It's not just not just the physical activity, but they get a lot more out of it as well.
Yeah, it's great, and a lot more fun to train too, right? Because you know who's coming, and yeah, I love it. So from a number standpoint, we mentioned that you had 20 coming sporadically. You were doing less than 4K, 3.5 on a good month. Where are things at now? How many total clients do you have, and what's the revenue of the business per month now?
Sure. So the numbers hitting to the mid 40s to 50s. About 45 to 50. Now, just to give you an idea, so my, okay, if I think back to the last 12 months, so I started NPE in March, I think. It was in March 2018. So my average monthly revenue then was 10K a month. Now, bearing in mind, I was doing 3.5K before NPE. And my goals now are to hit 50 to 20 a month, right? I mean, are these lofty goals? I thought 10K a month was a lofty goal. I remember telling my husband, wow, imagine I got to 10K a month. And then I was closing deals, and he actually said to me, he goes, if you notice, if you looked at your numbers, and have you noticed how blasé you are now about, oh yeah, I just closed, blah, blah, blah. You know, it would have been celebrated, and now I'm just, oh, yeah, great, it's going all right, you know. And one thing I do want to say is I remember thinking to myself, oh, gosh, you know, do I have to spend this much money in NPE? What are they going to teach me? What are they going to give me? You know, and I just remember the first few months, especially was after the raise the rates, when you got me to see the NPE way. And that's when I realized, okay, it more than covers all the investment that I've made. But also you've got me started thinking as a business. And really strategize. And, you know, I've had people come to me and go, wow, you not, you know, they said, wow, there's so much stuff you've got on social media, stuff you're doing, and this and that. It's amazing. It's huge. And I still think it's a little small thing, but I am here now because of what I've learned with my weekly coaching calls and, through NPE.
Oh, it's exciting stuff and thoroughly deserved as well, because you certainly deliver an amazing service. And I know you help so many women in the community, and not just those women, because them and some of the men as well, them getting fitter and stronger then has an impact on the relationship with their friends, their family, their colleagues, their loved ones. And so it has that ripple effect throughout the whole community, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing I love most is when they come in and they'll say things like, you know, say, God, you know, I just noticed my arms the other day, or, you know, and one of the best comments I had was from one of the clients who suddenly went, my husband says I've got a new butt. He goes, it's looking amazing right now. And, you know, clients after 4 weeks ago, he's like, I don't know if this is my imagination, but my legs are just looking slimmer and firmer. And you know, when you get, and a lot of us women, we don't care about the six pack. We just want to, what I call is be able to strut down the beach and not feel like I need a towel around me. You know, that's pretty much all there is to it, but it's hard to get there. So it's nice that I'm in this position where I can support these women who want to get to that goal.
Yeah, it is. It's super exciting, and having the impact is very special too. And I know you appreciate that. So just to summarize that, so, you know, you're at 3.5 on a good month, stressed and worried each month because, you know, some months when there really wasn't money at all and you're having to put back into it, 20 clients coming very sporadically. Now you're doing sort of 45 to 50 clients consistently, 10K of revenue each month with goals to do more. And ultimately the money is a reward for the number of people you're serving. So that's why there's a metric based around that, because you love to serve. And now it's so much more fun. Now, what we didn't talk about was back when you started, it clearly was just you. And now tell us about who's involved with FitNut Loft.
Okay, yeah, so it's just me. And the first thing I did was hire an admin, Claire, super. And again, I remember thinking, oh, maybe I should hire a coach first, another instructor. But it was on a call going, well, if you hire the admin for this, then that frees you up to hire a good coach. So that was the first thing I did, which was great. And, you know, sort of getting Claire on board with doing all this stuff that just takes up so much time and energy that she can do.
Right.
And then based on that, I was able to hire a great coach, Alice. And like I was away on holiday last week and she just did all the classes and clients love her. I think at first they were a little bit like, it's not you. But I made the transition there. So she was observing, she was getting involved in the classes. I get her to teach a few classes with me, co-teaching. And so they would see that she's got a different style, of course, but she represents Fit Nut Loft and it works. So, and I was getting feedback going, oh, she really worked us hard. Oh my God, it was a really hard workout. So she's put her own spin on things, which is nice. And also it's helped me because it can be lonely working for yourself, by yourself, just you. And then you lose the creative thought process as well. So now we bounce ideas and we go through exercises. What do you think of this exercise? So it's nice to have that other person to support me as well. Like sometimes I have bad days and I just be like, no, I'm uninspired. So having Alison there helps.
Yeah, I've got to go back a stop here because there'll be people listening to this going, hang on. You just took a week off and your business continued to grow? No way. How do you do that? So by bringing Alison and Claire on board, you were able to, it was Japan, wasn't it, that you went?
Yeah, it was Japan.
Japan with the family. And so what was that like to be able to go away for a week and have the business not only continue to run and to do, all the classes and the clients to be looked after, but still things moving in terms of growth? What was that like for you?
Oh, no, it was great because the last holiday I went on, I was just worrying about it the whole time. And also, the thing is, last time I was on holiday, there was no one working. So everything just shut down, right? So now, and I'm getting Alison involved in the sales process. So she's going to start to be able to, my goal is to be able to go off in the summer for 3 weeks and for them to close new sales while I'm away. And it's just liberating to know I don't have to carry all this by myself. And it's kind of fun because I'm not being, how should I say, sort of proprietary and going, oh, I can't teach them because they might run off with the information and whatever. I think part of the process was getting the right person and who was interested in working with me and growing it with me and learning from me. So I'm very much looking forward to teaching her how to, and she can make more sales and make more money for herself as well. But my goal is to be more hands-off for the next few years so that I can be a business owner and involve myself as much as little as I want to.
Love it. So there's a lifestyle component for you. It's not just about growing the biggest business you can and those sorts of things, because you do have not a super young family, but you've got 2 girls that obviously you want to spend time with, and going on vacation holidays to places like Japan is a big part of what you want to do, which is really exciting.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it, and most of the people listening to this will be in a similar position where not only when they take a holiday or a vacation does the revenue stop because the classes stop, or if they have staff, then there can be things that go wrong and they can come back to, a business on fire or at least having to try and reactivate everyone again because you lose the income, but people fall out of the habit of coming, and then it's almost like starting the business again, isn't it? Yeah. So that's so exciting for you to know that you can go and that things are going to keep rolling along nicely.
Yeah, and I'm looking for a second coach now, so.
There you go. Oh, that's great. Now, you've talked about a few things, and you mentioned raising the rates. You've mentioned bringing on an admin first. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've gone through over the last, it's not quite 12 months yet since you've been involved, but you've ultimately more than doubled the business in size in that time. What were the biggest challenges you faced, Ali?
Okay, so I was sitting there waiting for people to walk in, right? So one of the challenges I had was I thought social media would work. For me, for where I live, it didn't really work. So I remember talking to you and we talked about flyers, old-fashioned flyers, right? So popping them into letterboxes the old-fashioned way, and the returns on that was what do we work it out to be, 600% or something?
Exactly.
Right. So that got me thinking that, okay, so I don't have to rely on social media for this. The other challenge for me was also, first of all, when you have maybe dealing with uncomfortable situations with maybe some clients, and then sort of making sure that, the way I speak to them and deal with situations, and making sure that that my business comes, even though the clients are first, I've got to make sure that it's run to the point where I don't feel like I have to just work with anybody, as a client. And that's been liberating for me as well, because you want to surround yourself with people who are positive as well. And apart from that, another challenge I had was, trying to think now. You should remember what I had.
Well, I certainly remember those ones with the clients, and they were people who were either, well, it was basically people trying to dictate to you how you were going to run the business. And I know you told me previously that, you probably would have said, okay, a year ago, whereas now you're saying, actually, no, that's not how we work here. And if you're not prepared to do what and how we do things, then maybe we're not a good fit. But you've done that in a way which was incredibly professional. It wasn't aggressive, or there was no fighting over it. And in fact, most of those situations, you've really turned those clients around, right? Suddenly they've now become model members.
Yeah, I mean, it's having those difficult conversations, right? And not, initially just want to bury your head and go, I'd rather avoid that conversation and just feel every time that client comes in. But what I did was have that difficult conversation, and then when she comes in now, she works hard. We understand each other, which was kind of, for me, it sort of drove in the fact that I can do that, and if I can have that difficult conversation, as awkward and horrible as it is, I can do this.
Well, you certainly are. That's for sure. I mean, you're growing a great team. You're empowering a lot of clients in the community, and obviously your own staff, to be able to provide their families with an income as well, which is exciting. Bringing that new trainer on board, and you're impacting lives. That's for sure. So, I know one of the other biggest challenges was, you mentioned sort of shifting your focus from being a trainer and Pilates being what you love, to being a business owner. Did you have a point where that sort of clicked for you, or was it more of a gradual process?
For me, it was a gradual process. And also making sure that I left my ego thinking no one's going to be as good as me. Not that I thought that, but I always thought no one could do this as well as I can, because this is what I'm passionate about. But now I'm really trying to think about, and I enjoy building the business. I'm excited about it. I want to, do I have lofty plans? Yes, I do. And they're big goals, which I'm excited about. So it's kind of fun knowing that, as my husband puts it, I got a business. It's not just a hobby. It's a thriving thing. And I joked to him like, "Oh, one day you can retire, honey. It's all going to be down to you." But I wouldn't be able to do it if I was just a room with some machines and it's all me. Because first of all, I'd lose the stress I'd go through. Is just not worth it. So, and I kind of like also being an employer and building a great team. That's really fun as well.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see your growth and your belief in yourself. To be honest, you always believed in your skills as a trainer, and amazing at what you do there. But your belief and confidence in yourself as a businesswoman is really been amazing, and can't wait to see what the next 12 months is going to be for you. I know there'll be a lot of people listening to this thinking, okay, well, what were some of the key things that she learned? She's mentioned a few things there. So what would you say to people, are the biggest lessons you've learned over the last 11 months?
Trust the process. That's the biggest thing. You're going to go into it going, no, you don't know my business. You don't know anything about me. I don't believe you. No, it's not going to work. it will take time, I think, for you to come around to it. But I think you've got to believe in it, because because you guys do know what you're talking about. You're not just there to pull a fast one on us. You do really want to see us grow. So that's one advice. Two, I'd say if you are going to do this NPE thing, you've got to put in your own time. The more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. I mean, I love going on Facebook and asking questions and getting replies and going back to others, because we're global, and we're just, everyone's got great ideas. And so I'd say trust the process, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself, because having a business coach, a lot of people have got business coaches, right, in different industries. So why is it weird to have a business coach for fitness? Rather than trying to figure it out yourself, you're learning from so many people with decades of experience. And the mentorship that I get from you, I know we have our conversations, and it's all, you get me to really dig into my uncomfortable zone and just pull it out of me, and then we talk about it, and I go, oh yeah, okay, that was all right, that made sense. And it's nice for me, because even though I'm a small business owner, I'm not alone. I don't feel like I'm alone, because I've got you guys, and I'm tapping into that network,
Yeah, I was talking to another one of the members in the group, and they were saying how it feels like you've got a business partner who's not emotionally connected to the business, has no financial involvement, but is just helping you and guiding you. And I know that's how a lot of our members feel. You mentioned a couple of things there in terms of following the process. There were times when we were going through the implementation of the processes, and as you've mentioned already, the thoughts that sometimes in the back of the head, sometimes you actually voice was, I don't think this is going to work. And I remember certainly when we challenged you to put your prices up, and having to go through the raise the rates campaign, the stress, and I think we even delayed it a couple of times because we just didn't tell people a little bit about that, because everyone's really paranoid about putting their prices up, even though they may know that they don't have the right margins. And most people, once we actually go through the margin calculators, as you did, we realize you can't grow a sustainable business at that price point. Plus, it also positions you wrongly in the market because you're an expert at what you do. So tell people a little bit about what that experience is like going through the raising the rates.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. So, what I was doing before was just looking around and going, what's everyone else charging? And I better make sure I'm not going crazy. But, I was going from it's just me. I will never hire anybody. I don't care what my margins are, because it doesn't matter. It's just me. But then, I'm growing now, and I've hired people. So I'm glad I did that process. Right. And I like the whole idea, because I think as fitness professionals, we're sometimes ashamed that we're making money. We're ashamed of the fact that, I can't have a thriving business because that, gosh, what will people think? I mean, but it is a business. It's your livelihood, right? So you've got to protect the margins. And so when we came to that raising, I remember going through the calculator numerous times going, what? I've got to raise the prices to what? Going, no one will pay that. And I was going, that's ridiculous. It's so expensive. And I was just like, no one will value this. But then, so I did it, and of course you have the 3, 6, 12 months, it gets cheaper, et cetera. So I was giving them options, right? And I just remember the letter went out, and it helped to have the reasoning in the letter about why, the growth, et cetera. And actually, a lot of the clients went, yeah, totally see it. And I was so relieved. Not a single, actually, no, I think 2 clients were always like, gosh, I think I lost 2 clients to that, but everyone else has been totally on board with it, and which has been really, it's been good for me, because I've always also then I've gone, my prices are good, and I know they're fair, and I know I've got my margins, so I'm not going to jeopardize the growth of my business, the health of my business, just so I can get like 200 people who are going to pay nothing compared to maybe 80 people who are paying better prices.
Right. And they've got a great service too, because you're able to employ the Allisons and the Claires of the world, so that when you go away on vacation, the business still runs. So your clients don't get penalized from it just being you with those poor margins. So yeah, that's fantastic. Well, look, it's been awesome talking with you, and I really appreciate you sharing your story. What would your number one takeaway be for people who are listening to this call, and maybe they're in a similar position where, you know, they're just really struggling to actually move forward with the business, and they're just stuck, and they hit that plateau, or they may be even thinking, well, gee, is this even really for me? Business coaching, I'm not sure. I'm fairly small. Is this even appropriate? What would your advice be for them?
So my advice is, there is nothing wrong with looking for help. And let's put it this way, you're not going to get help for free, right? You're not giving your services for free, so why would you expect someone to give their services for free? And I mean, I referred one of my friends in Hong Kong who signed up, and he said to me, the reason he signed up also is because it came from me. You know, because he'd been approached by so many people, and he'd gone, whatever, don't believe you. So I think you just have to remember that there are people out there, NPE, who can really help you build a solid business with multiple locations and grow as much as you like. And I like the fact that you have the auto closer, the first thing, you have the entry level bit. And then I came in at this level, you know, I'm sort of counting the years until I'm at this level. And I remember actually thinking to myself when I signed up in March, going, it'll be 12 months, right? I'll just pay 12 months. That's it. Nothing else. Now I'm going, well, 12 months is coming up. I'm like, I'm not going to stop. You know, I'm not going to invest in me, because I'm seeing it as an investment in actually making me a better business person, and also making sure that my business grows. And at the end of the day, I can sustain my family. And in 5 years, I'm going to be traveling around the world, stalking my daughters, and this will still be running. They won't be very happy, but yeah.
Teenage daughters. We've got so much to look forward to. That's awesome. Look, I really do appreciate you sharing your time today, and sharing so honestly in terms of where you were and where you are now, and then also referring people to us, because we love that, just as you do with your clients. So thank you so much for all you do for our community, Ali. You've been a great inspiration to lots and lots of people.
Oh, it's been fun. I look forward to all the calls and all the coaching meetings. I look forward to it. And I think, you know, I'll be in it for as long as my business is running, I reckon.
Oh, brilliant stuff. It's going to be a long time until you decide to sell it for whatever you want for it, and you move on.
I'll be like, you know, I've got aspirations to be like, you know, Sean and you guys, oh my God, I'm most successful or whatever. And they'll be at the top of the heap going, yeah. That's me.
Love it. Let's make that vision come to reality. You're well on the way. Well, as I said, I do appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and we will speak to you very, very soon.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye for now, folks.
Bye.